Hey, come here. Do you want to see how I wrote this?
You're in control, don't lose control. You're in control, you're in control. You're in control, you're in control. Don't lose control, don't lose control. You're in control, don't lose control.
This whole song was written using Minimal Audio's brand new synth, Current. Stick around for a little longer and I'll show you how it all came together. Recently, I've been listening to a ton of video game style sounds. My son has really been into a few of the latest and greatest things for 10 and younger. Things like Five Nights at Freddy's and all of its sequels, Roblox, and there's this new one called My Singing Monsters. All of the songs from those games, and they all have songs in them or inspired by them, have this really 80s retro synthwavey kind of sound. And that inspired me. So I started writing something, and Minimal Audio came in at the right time with their newest synth. So let me show you how I wrote this Revenge of the Nerds inspired video game-ish song. Okay, so here it is. This is Minimal Audio's Current. If you've ever used any kind of synthesizer before, you probably recognize a lot of things. It starts off just like this. This is not the default look, but there's a lot going on. This is a very, very powerful synth coming to us from Minimal Audio. I am not the strongest synth guy, and I already know that there is a ton going on in here, but I can give you a great breakdown of how I used it. So right now we're looking at what is my pad's lead sound, and it goes like this. Pretty straightforward. I just need some kind of like plunky, plucky kind of tone, but I wanted it really robotic sounding. So I made this plunky bloopy sound. And I did that by combining the two oscillators. Oscillator A with more of a sine wave style, and then oscillator B it's a sine wave, but then I used the warp and I just really mangled the shape of the waveform that is generating the sounds. That's what the oscillator is doing. It's generating the sounds. There's way more under here. You can go granular. We're not doing that this time. Or you can do samplers and sub. This thing is ridiculously powerful, but we're going to go back to wavetables. We want current to generate the sounds itself, and we're just going to use simple waves at this point. And this is called saw square sine because if we actually dive into it, the position in the center point here changes if it's more of a square wave like we have in the beginning, or this is actually more of a saw wave if we click here. But as we go through here, you can see that there's different waves and the position changes the different style of wave that we're getting. So if we switch this back and I move this, you can see it goes from more of this saw to a square to a sine. With these two, there's not a lot going on, but we are using the effects section. And the effects section inside of Current is really cool because if you're a fan of the effects from Minimal Audio, they're all baked in to Current. Don't believe me? Check this out. I'm going to open up a brand new instance of Current. And you can see it has 8 different effects built in, but it has flex chorus, cluster delay. This is the delay that we've seen before. Now it's just inside Current. We also have hybrid filter, morph EQ, rift distortion, ripple phaser, swarm reverb, and fuse compressor. And we've gone over a few of these tools before, but if you're a fan of Minimal Audio and their processing, it is built into the synth. So you have that going for you. So yeah, that is our pad pluck main sound within this song. Once I was done creating that sound, I knew I needed drums to really kind of set the pace and set the feel of the record. So I actually used something from Just the Basics, my own drum groove library, and pulled that in. If you want to check that out, head over to timflansbaum.com. Right now, we're just using this 16th note beat, but I wanted to do something cool, so I bit crushed it to make it sound like an old video game. And I only wanted that for a certain part, so I just did that to this 8 bar. That's how this sounds. I'll tell you right now, those sounds were not generated from Current. It is just other MIDI drum sounds from different libraries. But I affected them to create this 8-bit sound. Now we jump over to our bass. Our bass was created using Current. And for this, I used Stream. Stream is a cloud-based preset browser. At the filming of this video, There's only so many selections in here, but with the release of this synthesizer, and as you guys all get your hands on it, this is going to grow and grow and grow, and there's going to be a ton of presets. Share them among your friends, share them in the cloud. There is a lot of options in here to get the right kind of sound you need from your synthesizer. So for the bass sound, I did find something within Stream. I pulled open the preset, and then I actually needed to print that for audio just because it worked better in my workflow. So we're going to close this out of here, and here is just the bass. I needed something really low, lots of sub information, but then I distorted it a little to give some mid characteristics and some harmonics to help bring it out through the mix. Then I did something a lot of fun, and I actually synthesized some voices. Whose voices? My voice and my son's voice. At the beginning of this song, I had my son say some robot-y terms. Here's what they sound like on their own.
System processing. Does not compute. System overdrive.
So you can hear he was having a ton of fun. Then we threw on a few different things. But once we wake these channels up, I have some expander just to get rid of our noise, push it down even further. Then I have fat channel doing some really heavy compression because it's a robot. The robot doesn't have the same kind of inflections that you and I have. Then I actually have it followed up by Studio One's vocoder. This is new for version 6. If you're working in an older version, you don't have this, but there's plenty of tools out there. Any vocoder will really be able to do this. And I'm just using the Young Robot preset, and I kind of just adjusted it, the frequency, to fit into the notes I wanted the voice to sit on. So with all these things on, this is what those voices, his and mine is later, this is what they sound like.
System processing. Does not compute. System overdrive.
And now, for you guys to listen and enjoy, and let me know what you think in the comments, here it is, Don't Lose Control.
System processing. Does not compute. System overdrive. Don't lose control. You're in 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 control. Don't lose control. Don't lose control. You're in control. Don't lose control. You're in control. You're in control. You're in control. You're in control. Don't lose control. Don't lose control. You're in control. Don't lose control. You're in control. You're in control. You're in control. You're in control. Don't lose control. Don't lose control. You're in control. Don't lose control.
So there you go. That is Current from Minimal Audio, their first synthesizer with all of their processing built in. And you can see this is an extraordinarily strong synthesizer, something that is far beyond what I am able to get from this synth, because honestly, it is extraordinarily powerful. And as I am still learning how to use synthesizers and how to manipulate them, there's a lot going on in here, but I can already tell you it's extraordinarily powerful, extremely creative, and a lot of fun to play with. So go ahead and grab your copy of Current, which is available right now. Use the link down in the description. Until next time, write some songs, have some fun, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.